What's going on? The Seahawks have made the playoffs. Reaction today. I'm one of your co-hosts on this quick podcast, quick YouTube video, Sammy on tap.
And I'm George on tap. What's going on, Sammy? Seahawks are in the damn playoffs, thank God. And shout out to the Detroit Lions and the whole city of Detroit. Thanks for that.
Thank you guys for what you've done for us. Honestly, it was a pretty big shocker. I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen, but a lot of parts of the game we had some concerns. But we'll get into that after a quick little intro, and we'll see you guys in a second. All right, G. Well, Seahawks make the playoffs, which is one of these just amazing moments. And the Detroit Lions did it for us. Yesterday was like a whirlwind. Classic Seahawk game, right? Like one of those classic, just insane chaos games. And then at the end, we finally pulled one out, but just chaos. And then, of course, a Lions chaos game and brings the Seahawks into the playoffs. Just everything went our way, which I feel like is a really nice blessing for once.
Yeah, man. It felt like during that game, felt like really we were going to blow the game, honestly. And especially when Jason Myers missed a field goal, sends us to overtime, and we win the toss, and then we don't score on the opening possession. Like it was a full-on just Seattle Seahawks, typical, as you said, a typical way for the Seattle Seahawks to clinch a playoff berth and then have to wait for the Detroit Lions to help us out. And overall, man, just you do have to give credit to where credit's due to Geno Smith. He actually played one of his worst games of the year. I felt like 2 interceptions. There was a dropped interception, but he really at the end made those plays to win the game. The rushing one where Jalen Ramsey kind of hit him late.
Shot him in the chest.
Yeah. And then in general, just you got to give credit where credit's due. Like during one of the biggest drives, twice he got us down to field goal range. We missed a field goal, and then he got us back into field goal range after the Diggs interception, and we got it done. Like credit where credit's due to Geno.
Yeah, man, it was fucking fun, dude. It was one of those crazy games that in the beginning of the game, remember, it was one of those like, okay, maybe this quarterback situation is something we really need to focus on for this draft because Geno has had some of that reduction. And now the hard thing with Geno is because he's had a couple games in the second half of the season like this, right? Where we're like, like there was a couple really bad throws, there's a couple different things. But ironically, I saw Softy posted today, actually, the sports radio guy. His first half stats versus second half stats in the season are not that much different. And but
Interesting.
doesn't it feel like to you that there is a solid difference between like how well he played?
It does feel like I felt like he had a much better first half of a season, but I mean, if they're not that much different, like I feel like too many people have been nitpicking Geno Smith as of late in general. Like I don't think we realize how good of a season overall he's had, not just for Geno Smith, but for any quarterback in the NFL.
Well, yeah. I mean, he also broke the Seahawks single season record for passing yards, which I mean, forget the fact that a lot of quarterbacks do that these days because of the amount of passing that happens.
Yeah.
Stats are going to be broken, right? Jamal Williams broke Barry Sanders' rushing touchdowns record, right? Justin Jefferson was, I think, 100 yards away from breaking the single season receiving record in the NFL. I mean, records are going to be broken, just the type of football we play these days.
Yeah. And the extra game, of course, too.
Extra game, too. But at the end of the day, Geno Smith, a 10-year backup in the NFL, to surpass Russell Wilson's Seahawks single season passing mark on sorry, I'm a little confused for a second, George. I'll tell you why.
Why?
And this is gonna be unedited, so it's fine. But I'm hoping this whole thing was recording because for some reason on my end of our recording device, it just started doing the timer. I don't know if you have the same thing.
No, we're at 4 minutes and 50
Okay, mine
seconds
says
on mine.
22 seconds. All right, just double checking.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to business. I was a little shocked for a second. I froze.
You know what though? When this is unedited, when I was traveling and doing this like in Europe and you were here, it was doing the same thing for me. Like mine would start counting like 4 or 5 minutes after. So
Well, I'm in Texas, but
I know, but I don't know. Maybe your Wi-Fi is a little slower. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm next to the modem, but anywho, I do think regardless, it's really impressive to break a Russell Wilson record, who's our franchise quarterback who won a Super Bowl. So regardless, he had a great season, and I pulled up the stats on the screen for the podcast listeners. I'll
Mhm.
read it. YouTube listeners can obviously see it.
Yep.
The top half is the first half of games. Now he had no, sorry, bottom half is the first half of
Yep.
games, first 9 games. He had 73 completion percentage, 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, with a 107 QB rating. Right. Second half of the season, 66%, which is not bad actually. It's a decent number. It's just not 73. He only, and this is one game less, so don't forget that. Pretty much 2,100 yards, also 15 touchdowns, and just 7 picks and 94 quarterback rating.
Yeah.
Now,
Now the picks you'd like to see down because that's almost won a game, but that's it. That's the only problem.
I think your mic unplugged, or is me? Hold on.
No, I
There you go.
hear you. All right, perfect. Yeah, I mean the picks you'd like to see come down a little bit, like 7 picks in 8 games, but it's not like these stats are good, right? Like, and sometimes picks a lot of times come in bunches. Like yesterday came two picks. I think he had 2 picks in another game. So in general, he's been playing clean football. And I think a lot of people are the reason people have the quarterback conversation is because, like you said, Geno Smith was a 10-year backup and now he's playing good. So people are like, is this real or is this not real? That's really what it is.
It's absolutely insane to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
If
but
he was a
yesterday,
rookie quarterback doing these stats, sorry, but if he was a rookie quarterback doing these stats or a third-year quarterback doing these stats, people would be like, oh man, we got something to build on.
and that's kind of what happened with Russell Wilson, right? I mean, the reason Russell Wilson, I think, was obviously this is not a hate on Russell Wilson situation because whatever, it's over. We got the fifth pick in the draft. That ship has sailed, and we're in the playoffs. Now the Russell Wilson hate for me is pretty much like whatever. Like whatever he does doesn't matter because it doesn't affect us. But he was our franchise quarterback, and the reason he became such a hot piece or commodity for us is because a lot of the good stuff he was doing was, like you said, as a first, second year, third year quarterback. It makes it even elevated more than when it's an older guy doing it, right? Because you're like, oh, if this is what's happening in year 2, 3, 4, what's 7, 8, 9 going to look like?
Right.
That's why it's weird for Geno. What Geno? It's like what, year 8 or 9, and it's like it's confusing. I mean, like, is this gonna last? Is it not? Is this normal? Is it not normal? But at the end of the day, he made the right plays yesterday, and I feel like all season, we obviously lost some games, but we're in the playoffs, and most of the season, when you needed Geno Smith to make plays, he made plays, and
Mhm.
then obviously we just had the football gods in our hands last night. Even though it had to be kind of stressful, it had to be a little bit questionable. It had to be needing the Lions to win for only the fourth time in 31 years in Lambeau, and they did it. So it all went our way somehow, and that's what I'm happy about. And now we get to see the 49ers for the third time this year. And can I tell you what's really hard to do, George? Even though they're a great team, it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Yeah, it's super hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. And that's one reason I have some optimism going into this game. Look, I think the 49ers are a fantastic team. I think they might have the best roster, not only in the NFC, but in the whole entire NFL.
Yeah, they might be
But
the best roster
yeah,
for
but
sure.
they have a guy at quarterback named Brock Purdy, and I know he's been excellent. He hasn't lost a game yet, but he was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the draft. This is a huge stage for Brock Purdy. And if anyone can you know, make a chaos ball, it's Pete Carroll. We saw it when we beat the Saints years ago in the playoffs when we weren't supposed to be there. I'm not saying we should win this game, but can we win this game? Yeah, the Seahawks can beat the 49ers because they have a rookie quarterback. And we have a veteran head coach. Now, am I going to predict it? No, we're 10-point dogs for a reason. But Can we? Yeah, I don't think we go. I'm going into this game saying, "All right, I will." I'm like, yeah, I'm happy we made the playoffs, but I don't think I'm going into this game with, "All right, well, whatever, we're gonna lose now." No, I'm going in like, "Hey, we got a shot to win. We got a puncher's chance."
Yeah, a real puncher's chance too. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it is a couple of things, like you said. Rookie quarterback is one. Pete Carroll, which is a veteran head coach against the rookie quarterback. I like the fact that they haven't lost a game yet. Because can I tell you what happens with a rookie quarterback and a team like this? Eventually, they're going to lose a game.
Right,
As
unless he's
much
Tom
as
Brady, he's gonna go win the Super Bowl's first year as a starter, but I don't think Brock Purdy is Tom Brady.
I'd be shocked, right? And at the end of the day, do I think, like you said, do I think this is the best team? Probably, maybe the best roster. But I almost feel like it's kind of, it might end up haunting them that he never lost a game during his time. Because there's going to be a point where you lose a game. I'd be shocked if Brock Purdy comes into the 49er season, goes the straight entire year undefeated to win the Super Bowl. That would just be one of the, like you said, Tom Brady-esque type of story. So, you know what? At the end of the day, is it an easy matchup? No, it's probably the worst matchup possible for us. But
Yeah,
at the same
I'd rather
time,
play the Vikings.
me too. But we've seen them twice, which maybe that's an advantage Seahawks when it's a rookie quarterback. And as much as Shanahan gets all the love, I know everyone loves the young coaches like Sean McVay and Shanahan and all these guys and Matt LaFleur. Can I tell you what happened, George? Shanahan hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. Matt LaFleur just got eliminated from the playoffs, and Sean McVay won 5 games this year.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they all have up and down years, whether they're the young 30-year-old geniuses or the 71-year-old Pete Carrolls. And sometimes it's an advantage to be the 71-year-old Pete Carroll going against the young head coach and a rookie quarterback and playing for the third time because it's hard to beat people 3 times in a season. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot of things for optimism, as much as I'm not a nut job and I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Seahawks are going to, I'm not guaranteeing a win. I'm not saying they're better. I'm not saying, oh my God, easy game. I'm just saying is for a game that we're 10-point underdogs, there at least is some hope that we've seen this team before, young coach, young quarterback. And I feel like that's kind of what you're saying too. It's just at least there's some signs of like, maybe this, maybe that can work out.
Yeah, I think us and the Ravens and Bengals, like, right? Those are like 2 teams, especially when you're division rivals and actual rivals. These games, like, it doesn't matter what the spread is, like, anything can happen. Divisional games, especially. Same with the Bills and Dolphins, right? If Tua is playing. But one thing is interesting, I think, I'm with you. I'm not crazy enough to say we're going to win, but I do think we have a chance. It's kind of crazy. We've played all 3 of their quarterbacks this year. We've got Trey Lance for a quarter, then we got Jimmy Garoppolo, and then we got Brock Purdy last game. Kind of nuts that it's a divisional game against the 49ers. We played all their quarterbacks.
I know. I don't know how it always works out with the 49ers, man. Us and the 49ers. There's always crazy stories, crazy games. And this is, like I said, it's kind of crazy. We played all 3 of them. We got half of Trey Lance, a half of Jimmy Garoppolo, and now we're getting a playoff game of Brock Purdy. And hopefully he stays healthy, but who knows? If something happens to him mid-game, maybe we get another half of somebody else
Yeah,
too.
who's their backup? Was that guy? What? Oh God, what was his name? They signed him not too long, right when he got hurt.
I'm looking it up for you,
Yeah,
man.
he's
Right
been
now,
he's
Josh
been
Johnson.
yeah, Josh Johnson. There we go.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
If they
Yeah,
want
but
to
no,
play him, feel free.
yeah, go ahead, start him. No, but just in general, man, I'm excited for this game. What's your prediction? Are you going to predict us to win, or do you think it's like
I don't want to make a prediction about win or loss because I know we're 10-point underdogs. But I will say, George, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would bet the Seahawks plus 10. It's going to be a close game.
yeah, that's definitely my prediction. It's
Yeah.
gonna be it's gonna be a 1-score game.
Yeah, it's a one-score game. It's in San Francisco, but it's the shortest possible flight from Seattle.
And
For
not the best home field advantage in the new Levi Stadium.
No, but it is the playoffs. So
Yeah.
rookie quarterback, rookie coach. I'm gonna say Seahawks win, but if you want to sit here and comment and say I'm biased, 110%. But really, if I was gonna be like a person that was on if I was on ESPN right now and not trying to embarrass myself, I would say take the plus 10 because it's gonna be a close game. And then when it's a close game, anything can happen. any given Sunday, but I guess any given Saturday for this one.
I know. Yeah, kind of. Man, I was surprised how they spread out these games. I thought they'd like. I forgot there was a Monday night football game. So when that schedule came out, then it made more sense. But I was like, oh, Saturday 2 and 3, Sunday. I was like, oh wait, there's one on Monday.
I
That
think
would
they
have been
did Monday
cool.
because it's a holiday.
No, remember last year they had a Monday night game too. Now they have one Monday night game on Super Wild Card Weekend.
Well, and it's Martin Luther King Day, so it is a holiday. So there's
Is
gonna
it
be
really?
yeah, it's gonna
I
be
thought that was the end of the month.
NBA Day games, and it's gonna be like NFL wild card. So it's gonna be kind of a nice day.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be a great day. Man, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I really do think we have a puncher's chance to win this game.
We do, we do. For those that enjoy these, today was a short one because I'm traveling, but we're gonna do a full Seahawks podcast, full podcast, full YouTube videos, clips. Wherever you're watching this, you might be watching us on different platforms. But make sure to stay tuned. Either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be dropping our full preview podcast. A lot more information, a lot more topics. But we want to just get something out to you guys because we appreciate all the support.
Absolutely, man. And I know people are excited to listen to this type of podcast. It's so much better when you're talking about going into the playoffs after a win than when you come into a podcast like, oh, that was the end of a season. What are your storylines for next year? Like, this is so much more fun. We'll have time for that podcast, but right now this podcast is about the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to quarterback or not to quarterback podcast.
I hate the end of a season podcast. Not that I hate the podcast, but I hate going into it. Like, it's such a somber like mood. Like, oh man, season's
Yeah, like when the
over.
Mariners lost to the Astros.
Exactly.
We're like, all right, well, fuck. Now what?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully it doesn't end after this weekend. So
absolutely.
let's
Yeah.
just hope. All right, much love, guys. And this is the Sports on Tap Seattle podcast. Find us everywhere at Son Seattle, and you can always find our other podcasts at the Sports on Tap or the Sports on Tap podcast. And George, you know what we like to say, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Peace.